Hello everyone, welcome to SV Union High School and Junior College. Our subject today is Geography Standard 7. We are going to see chapter number 1, How Seasons Occur, Part 1. We are going to continue lesson number 1, How Seasons Occur, Part 1. In the first video, children, we have discussed all our basic knowledge related to the earth, moon and sun. We must understand them properly. We have already studied about them in our lower classes. In the last video, I have just revised the basic knowledge that you studied in standard 5 and 6. In this class, we are going to see all their effects on each other, and hence we should understand them properly. To begin with, let us answer the following questions. Children, I will be giving you the answers too. I request you to please write down all the answers in your notebook. Question number 1. How do day and night occur on the earth? Day and night occur on the earth due to the rotation of the earth. What term is used to describe Earth's revolution around the sun? The Earth's movement around the sun is also termed as orbital motion. How long does the earth take to do so? The earth takes 365 days and 6 hours to complete one revolution around the sun. In which hemisphere is our country located? Our country India is located in the northern hemisphere. Which two dates had days and night of equal or same duration? Children, I would like you to find this answer from your lesson. Let us continue with a small activity that we are going to do. In this activity, we are going to study the duration of day and night. Students, to understand what we have learned till today about this lesson, we shall carry out this activity. I have given you one table. You can copy down this table in your notebook. In the above table, you are going to write dates and the timing of the rising sun and the setting sun. We are in the month of June, and we all know June. In the month of June, we have the longest day in the northern hemisphere. 21st June is our longest day in the northern hemisphere. You must have realized that the days are bigger and nights are shorter. We can see the sunrise early in the morning and we receive sunlight till late in the evening. We have seen in the last video that in northern hemisphere between 22nd March to 23rd September the days are longer and nights are shorter. When we start recording the timing every day right from June till September, we will realize that the days, you will also notice that the days are longer from June and they start becoming shorter after 21st June till 22nd September. So students, in the given table, we are going to note down the timing of the rising and setting of the sun. The timing of rising and setting of the sun is also given in the newspapers. We are going to do this activity till the month of September. In September, we will be learning second part of this lesson. We have learned that the earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation around itself. It rotates from west to east. The earth's rotation has enabled us to measure time in the terms of day. During the single day, we experience various phases of the day like sunrise, midday, sunset, as well as daytime and nighttime. We will realize that the position of the rising and setting of the sun keeps on changing at the horizon. It does not rise in the same place every day. During the whole year, it keeps on changing. Let us understand this by carrying out this activity. Paste a large white paper on one side of the table. Place a torch in front of the table in such a way that it won't move. Stand a rod or a candle between the light white paper and the torch. Direct the light beam of the torch in such a way that the shadow of the rod candle falls on the paper. Mark the position of the shadow on the paper. Move the table along with the rod or candle from one side to the other side slowly. Observe and mark the position of the shadow that falls on the paper. Note the changes in the location of the shadow. You will realize that as the position of the table changes, the position of the shadow also changes. If the position of the sunrise and sunset on the horizon are observed for the whole year, you will realize that they keep on changing. To understand this, let us carry out the next activity. Take a thick stick about 1.5 to 1.7 meters long. Keep some distance. Fix the stick near the wall that receives sunlight at the time of sunrise or sunset throughout the year. Remember that the stick has to be fixed at this spot for the period of 1 year. After the observation, mark the position of the shadow for that date. If the position of the shadow changes, measure and note the distance between the earlier and the changed position. During the period of this activity, you observe the place of sunrise and sunset on the horizon as well. You must have realized through your observation that the position of the sun at sunrise appears to change on the horizon every day. This position appears to move towards the north or south in the course of year. However, in reality, the sun does not move anywhere. That is why this movement of the sun towards the north or south in the year is also called the apparent movement of the sun. We shall continue this lesson in our next term. Till then, I would like you to carry out these activities or just mark down the table with all the observation of timings of the sunrise and sunset, and the other two activities you are just going to observe them. Let us see this video to understand our activities clearly.
It takes 24 hours for the earth to rotate around itself. It rotates from west to east. The earth's rotation has enabled us to measure time in terms of days. During a single day, we experience different stages like sunrise, midday, sunset, as well as daytime and nighttime. To understand the changes in the locations of sunrise and sunset on the horizon, let us carry out the following activity. Try this. Paste a large white paper on one side of the table. Place a torch in front of the table in such a way that it wouldn't move. Stand a rod or a candle between the white paper and the torch. Direct the light beam of the torch in such a way that the shadow of the rod or candle falls on the paper. Mark the position of the shadow on the paper. Move the table along with the rod or candle from one side to the other slowly. Observe and mark the position of the shadow that falls on the paper. Note the change in the location of the shadow. From this activity, we can understand that as the position of the table changes, the position of the shadow also changes. If the positions of the sunrise and the sunset on the horizon are observed for the whole year, you will realize that they keep on changing. Let us understand the reason behind this with the help of next activity. Try this. Take a thick stick about 1.5 to 1.7 meter long. Keeping some distance, fix the stick near a wall that receives sunlight at the time of sunrise or sunset throughout the year. Remember that the stick has to be fixed at this spot for a period of about 1 year. After the observation, mark the position of the shadow for that date. If the position of the shadow changes, measure and note the distance between the earlier and the changed position. During the period of this activity, observe the place of sunrise and the sunset on the horizon as well. We all know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. You would realize through your observations in the last activity that the place where the sun rises keeps changing every day. In fact, the sun remains in the same place, and it is the earth with its inclined axis that revolves around the sun. That is why, looking from the earth, it appears that the sun is moving either to the north or to the south. The combined effect of the inclination of the earth's axis and the orbital motion of the earth causes seasons.